Yo, I'm Q Harrison. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show with your man, Paul Hickey. What's good? No off season.
What's up, everyone? This is Duke Dodson from Graybos, and you're listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show, part of the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network. And remember, there is no off season.
This is Mark Aaron from WSB Radio in Atlanta, and you're listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show, part of the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network, the #1 place for advice on how to make money flipping sports cards. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, there is no off season.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at NoOffSeason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's NoOffSeason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from MarketMoversApp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at MarketMoversApp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. I'm Paul Hickey. You are the NoOffSeason.com fam, and we are here together to help you make money flipping sports cards. Why? Because that makes the hobby so much more fun than if you're not making money. So whether you're making money to fund your PC or making money to fund your life, we are here to help you do it in this wonderful, wonderful hobby of ours. And I am super excited to be here with you yet again on another Monday. Today is August 12th. Most of you are listening to this on Apple and Spotify, so we welcome in everybody watching live on YouTube, watching live on Instagram, X, and sometimes LinkedIn, and listening on the podcast apps, wherever you get your Sports Card Strategy Show. It's a good one, and we love you. So we say hello to Kohar Antiques Collectibles, Hester Sports Cards, Mark Go Blue Navy 62, Grail Chase Marketplace, Collectible by TNT, Captain Dad Pants, Canine by Chris, Sea Wilk Sports Cards. What's up, everybody? That's the IG crowd. And then, of course, we've got more and more of you that are coming into the live chat. We're going to give you shout outs. Today, we're going to talk about backup QB pricing. Why? Because we just had week 1 of the NFL preseason, and we've got some data to report on. And is there a strategy for these Panini Instant RPS first look cards that we are still painfully waiting for an update from Panini on? I mean, it is ridiculous, but I think I might have a play for all of us who ordered those cards. So stay tuned for that. Of course, we're going to hit our top 5 cards to buy raw and grade as we do every Monday. We'll talk about a couple of issues going on with PSA regarding an N6 designation. Have you been N6'd by PSA minimum size requirement? We'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about our new Repack product. So get ready for that. It's almost sold out. There's literally only 8 left. So I need all of you to go to NoOffSeason.com right now. Click on the link to buy the Repack. Check the checklist first, because if you don't like anything on the checklist, just pass, just fade it. But my guy Maddox Yost, m.pokeworld on IG, has put together a phenomenal checklist, and it's called High Ceiling, High Floor. Need I say more? So you don't lose in this Repack. We'll talk more about how we put that Repack product together later on in the show. But let's say hello to Sergeant Slabs. What's up, Sergeant Slabs? Good to see you. If you're in the live chat, get involved. I'll shout you out. And if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, DM me at Sports Card Strategy on Instagram, and I'll shout you out as well. But you got to follow me. Follow Sports Card Strategy on Instagram. All right, everybody, are you ready to start grading your cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. Now, I know many of you no to grade your cards with PSA for the best value on the secondary market. But we've got some great CGC plays that we think you should take note of. Stay tuned for future episodes where we talk about CGC plays. All right, everybody, let's get into this. Quarterback pricing, right? I said backup quarterback pricing earlier on in the show. There'll be some of that. Some of these guys are starters. Some of these guys are new starters. And the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, looked phenomenal. Now, everybody can say it's a vanilla defense. It's preseason week 1, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But look, what we got to look at is what we got to look at. Caleb Williams is out there with the starters for the Chicago Bears. He looked freaking phenomenal. I watched his 15 plays that he played, and the market has taken notice because his card prices are up. Some of his card prices are up. So I want all of you who are looking to sell Caleb Williams cards right now to take a look at which Caleb Williams cards you have, and maybe it's time to list them. And of course, text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727 to get your sell alerts. So we will text you sell alerts when it's time to sell certain players, and we dive into what cards are up. So Caleb Williams, his 2023 Bowman Chrome University it's not his first prospect auto, number 1 prospect auto. So his first was in 2022. This is his second year in Bowman Chrome University. Number 1 prospect auto in PSA 10. That card's up $300. It's up $300. So there is margin there. His 2023 Prism Draft Pick Saturday Star Signatures, red, serial numbered out of 25, that's up $200. And then his 2022 Bowman Chrome University first prospect auto PSA 10, which was one that I talked a lot about. It was a card that I told everybody to buy. I had a couple copies. That is up $125. Now, it didn't go up during the NFL draft like I expected it to, but it has gone up during the preseason, which was my second call. I said, any of you holding Caleb who have not sold him during the NFL draft for a profit need to hold them during the preseason. Now I see my guy, Sean Red 5 Cards in the live chat. Sean, stay tuned. You're a one-on-one member at nooffseason.com, a one-on-one strategist member. Sean works directly with me. There's a bunch of other people that do the one-on-one program directly with me. Sean has some Caleb Williams cards. I'm going to be sending him a personalized email later tonight with exactly what he should do on those Caleb Williams cards. So if you want a personalized email from me and you want to talk to me about your sports card strategy, email me at paul@nooffseason.com. Ask me about the one-on-one package that I'm talking about on the Sports Card Strategy Show, and I will hook you up with the info. Sean, not my words, Sean's words right now on the Sports Card Strategy Show in the comments says totally worth it. Thank you, Sean. You're the man. Sean's also taking advantage of our card grading service. Sean, I received your package today. And so we are grading cards for our premium members. I'll talk about that later on in the show, but let's continue to move into the content. So another guy that I like that I've talked a lot about this offseason as my number 1 or number 2 backup QB play. Some of his cards are in the formula. Some of his cards aren't in the formula that I still think are good plays, are a little bit riskier than the ones that are in the formula, is Detroit Lions Hendon Hooker. 3rd round pick in 2023. Should be Jared Goff's primary backup. Made his Detroit Lions debut in preseason week 1. Looked great. Unfortunately, left the game with a concussion. Hopefully, it's just a minor concussion. And hopefully, he'll be back. Maybe not for week 2 of the preseason, but for weeks 3 and week 4 of the preseason. A lot of hype around Hendon Hooker. His 2023 Contenders rookie ticket auto, cracked ice, serial numbered out of 23 raw, is up $150. His 2023 Prism Blue Ice PSA 10 serial numbered out of 99 is up $145. So Hendon Hooker is another guy that the market likes, and we need to be paying attention to. If you're up on Hendon Hooker cards, might not be a bad idea to list them, although I'm still holding mine. I'm holding my Hendon Hooker cards. I'm not going to panic sell off a concussion. I think this youngster is going to have some more moments in the NFL. Hopefully they're not because of a Jared Goff injury, but I do think Hendon Hooker's cards continue to go up throughout the season. Text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727 for your sell alerts. Now, if you're holding a Justin Fields 2021 Optic Downtown PSA 9, he obviously played for the Steelers a little bit. Russell Wilson did not play. That card is up $101. You've got a couple of Kenny Pickett cards up over $97. His 2022 Absolute Kaboom Horizontal PSA 9 and his 2022 Optic Downtown PSA 9. Those are up $97 and $100 respectively. So you've got a situation where if you prospected on Kenny Pickett getting a little bit of preseason hype and you bought him prior to 14 days ago, you were right. You might want to cash in on that. Kenny Pickett looked okay as a backup for the Eagles. Couple of more Caleb Williams cards are up. 2022 Bowman Chrome University First Prospect Auto Lava Refractor PSA 10 out of 199. That sold for $750. So that's up. That's up quite a bit because that used to be a $500 card. That's up $100 in the last 14 days. So a lot of action going on. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the backup quarterback pricing, but I will just tell you to do this. Text sports cards to 1-833-992-5727, and you're going to get a comprehensive sell alert later this week with NFL quarterbacks, starters, backups. It's worth it. It's worth it, everybody, and it's free. All right, so let's get into the next topic, which has been it's been kind of a hot button issue on the Sports Card Strategy Show and on the Football Card Quest of late. We've talked about the fact that the Panini Instant RPS first look cards have not been shipped yet. Now, we all bought those cards back in May, everybody. Back in May. It's ridiculous that they haven't shipped yet. Like, it is beyond ridiculous. It is ludicrous. It is sinful. I am ashamed at Panini America right now. I am ashamed. I am calling them to the carpet. Where the F are our Panini Instant first look cards? We all spent quite a bit of money on these. I don't want to hear about a production issue. You're a production company. Where are they? Where the F are they? Here's the deal. Many of us, if you were paying attention, bought cards like J.J. McCarthy, bought cards like Michael Penix Jr., probably the base cards. You know, the 25 card base pack gets you down to a average cost per card at around $3.85. Some of us might have taken some flyers on Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Brian Thomas Jr., Jermaine Burton. You even got Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice. So, you know, hopefully you didn't buy base cards of those last few guys, but hopefully you bought like lower serial numbered ones or maybe even autograph. Okay. But here's the thing. What I realized, because JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix played over the weekend, and I was like, mother effer, right? Like, the whole point of buying those cards back in May was to have them now to list them. Whether or not they're graded, whatever, you know, at least we thought we would have them in our hands. It's ridiculous that we don't have them in our hands. Sergeant Slab says, ludicrous indeed. I got 10 Michael Penix cards I'm waiting on. I mean, I think we all do. I think we all have quite a bit of these cards because the play was to get them. I think we thought we would have them in July and then we could get them graded at PSA and be first to the market with PSA slabbed, NFL licensed rookie cards of these guys. And then when they're playing in the preseason like they are right now, we could sell them. Like, that's what we do on the Sports Card Strategy Show. We make money in clever ways like that. Well, I'm going to give you another clever way to make money off of these cards. And I'm going to tell you that very, very often we have to call audibles, right? To use the football analogy, We have to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. We have to change the play in the middle of the play. We have to, then when the ball is snapped, sometimes we have to read the defenses. And maybe we hit our check down receiver, or maybe we scramble and hit some guy going long after he breaks off his route, and just goes long and we hit him. Or maybe he comes back to us across the middle of the field. Justin Jefferson-esque on 4th and 18 a couple of years ago against the Bills, when Kirk Cousins hit him for the best catch I've ever seen in my life. We're making that kind of play right now with these RPS first looks, guys, because we don't have them in our hands. And here's what I did today. I said, you know what? I've got 25 of these McCarthys coming. I've got 25 of these Penixes coming. These are cards. These are not only players that I want to sell right now, but they're like, these cards are not going to hold value long. That's the other thing. These are not the right cards. They're not the right cards for the right player at the right time. These are the cards that they're the quick flip cards. They're the cards that we have to get these cards the F out of our possession before other cards for these guys come out. And now we've got things like Score a Treat or whatever the hell that thing's called, where, we've got, there's going to be more and more of these licensed Panini cards coming out for these guys. And then there's going to be like Topps Chrome Black coming out for, guys like, probably Caleb Williams soon, right? So there's probably going to be a Panini Instant Caleb Williams with an RC shield. Rewind that. Topps Now. There's going to be a Topps Now because Caleb Williams probably won't have those Panini Instant cards, but he probably will have those Topps Now cards. And we know that Topps gets us these cards quick. Topps gets us these cards quick. So there's probably going to be Topps cards that are going to compete with these, right? They're going to be unlicensed, but they might have autos. They're going to have serial numbered parallels and everything like that. That are going to go well. So my point is, these cards, like, now is the time to move out of these cards, and we still don't have them in our possession. So here's what I'm doing. There's 1 million pre-sales and there's 1 million pre-sold, not only listings, but listings for pre-sales that have legitimately sold. So, like, for example, on August 8th, a pre-sale listing on eBay of one JJ McCarthy base Panini Instant RPS first look sold in a buy it now for $49.99. We know that card cost that person less than $4. So brilliant move, like a brilliant move by that person, turning a less than $4 card into a $50 card, right? And so there is a way to go in and you just list the card, and you can add multiple quantities in your eBay listing. And as long as you disclose that it's a pre-sale in the item description, you can sell these cards now, even if you don't have them in your possession. As long as you know you're going to have them, just disclose in the description. Now, this was not something that I was willing to do in May, in June, in July, even like 10 days ago, I wasn't willing to do it. But today, on Monday, August 12th, when we're in the freaking preseason and these guys are actually playing games, and this is the time that I was going to sell them, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Collectors want to buy these cards. People out there want to buy these cards. Great. There's a market for these cards. People are buying them. So what I did was I went to eBay. I put in JJ McCarthy RPS first look Panini Instant. Then I toggled by sold items, scrolled down, saw the one that sold on August 8th for $49.99 and to buy it now. Clicked on it, sell one like this. So you'll see $49.99 in green, buy it now, free shipping, view similar active items, and then sell one like this. I clicked sell one like this. I downloaded the photo of that person's card and uploaded it as my photo and basically copied their listing. And I undercut them on price. I don't need $49.99 to make money on this. I put $39.99 in, 25 available, buy it now or best offer. Disclose that it is a pre-sale. I do not have the cards in my possession yet, and that I will ship them as soon as I get them. So one sold. Guy made me an offer for $30. I accepted the offer. So I've already sold one of my 25 JJ McCarthy Panini RPS first look instance in a pre-sale. Got 24 left, and I listed my Penixes as well. So I listed my Penixes because the Penix ones are selling for $9.99. And like, why not? Why not try to get $9.99 for your Penixes? That's still a 3X. And then you've got Spencer Rattlers. Spencer Rattlers are selling for $9.99 also. One sold yesterday for $9.99. So I listed my Rattlers, I listed my Penixes, and I listed my McCarthys. I think this is the move. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments at youtube.com/Paul Hickey or DM me on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy. What do you think? We say hello to C. Wilk Sports Cards, Flash House of Cards, Jack Ladd 87, The Real Old Miguel, Waves Cards, Canadian Card Group, Code World, Cardboard for Dinner, P. Figgy, Matt Solomon. What's up, Matt Solomon? G. Jerry, Ripsy Hustle, Cole's Cardboard, Melville 96ers, Blake Turner, Shant 0822, R3N Sports Cards, Live Family Cards, Mike Kennedy 812, Greggy Boy. What's up, Greggy Boy Cards? I met your dad at the National. Greggy Boy Cards is the man. Mo Cards, EM Rugger, Harvey Hobby Halls. Canines by Chris says that is absolutely the move. Being able to sell cards at a time where people want them and you don't have them, that's winning. That's winning. And the key for everybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about is I don't have them physically in my possession, but I will have them. Like, I ordered them. They're coming to me from Panini at some point. And I think, and just the last thing on this that I think is super important for everybody is I want you all to make sure that if somebody makes you an offer and you accept their offer, I would immediately message them back and say, thank you so much for buying this card. Just a reminder, it's a pre-sale. It's a pre-sale. Hopefully you saw that in the description. This means that I don't have the card in hand yet. I don't know when I'll have it. Panini hasn't shipped any of them. As soon as I get mine, I will ship it to you. And if you have any problems with this, let me know right away. And so I did that with the buyer, and the buyer messaged me right back and said, thanks, no problem. So, you gotta sleep well at night on these things. And you don't want anyone to think that you're pulling the wool over their eyes here. And you don't want negative feedback on your eBay store. You don't want it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the $50 profit, to be honest, to have negative feedback on your eBay store. But the reality is there's a lot of other Panini Instant cards for these players that have come out since then that still haven't shipped. So it's kind of, it's just really a shame. It's just really a shame. But I mean, JJ McCarthy's selling really well. So if you ordered JJ McCarthy, if you listen to me, if you listen to Andy at Football Card Quest back in May, congratulations. You listened to us and you're winning. And you're going to be able to make quite a bit of money if you go ahead and follow this execution strategy right now. We say hello to K Cards in the live chat at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. We say hello to George Schurer. Guys, thanks so much for all of your support. Really, really appreciate it. And I want to talk about a couple more things before we get into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy raw and grade. I had this segment originally called "Is PSA Running a Scam?" And I want to just say, I really don't think PSA is running a scam. I really don't think they're doing this on purpose. I would not be grading any cards with PSA if I honestly thought that they were scamming people. But I have to call them out and say that they're doing something that doesn't make any sense. And what they're doing is they're using their N6 designation, which means your card doesn't meet the minimum size requirement, which is a nice way of saying we think your card might be trimmed without calling you out as someone who trimmed the card, right? So I give them props for having this N6 designation, for having the technology to supposedly see whether or not cards are trimmed. We need those kinds of things in the hobby because we don't want people trimming cards, right? I mean, that's obvious. That's Captain Obvious statement of the day. But we want to make sure that cards that aren't actually trimmed, that do actually meet minimum size designations, don't get sent back to us after paying our grading fee with an N6 designation. And I've had that happen about 12 times to me in the last year. And it's really, really annoying. It's really annoying because you're paying the grading fee and then you're just getting the card back in a card saver with a sticker from PSA on it that says, do not holder. And in your PSA account, it says N6 does not meet minimum size requirement. And I'm here to tell you, the difference between me and other content creators in the hobby is I'm just going to come out and say what I do. Full transparency, right? I just send it back to PSA because I'm like, no, I know the card that I submitted and I know the card is not trimmed and I know that it meets minimum size requirements, whether I've cracked it out of another grading company's slab or whether I've pulled it out of a pack myself. I know that it meets minimum size requirements. I know that it does. It's a freaking ultra modern card, right? So who's trimming ultra modern cards, by the way? I mean, never mind. Forget I asked that. I don't want to get off topic here. But what I want to know is, have you been N6'd by PSA? Let me know in the comments. DM me on IG at Sports Card Strategy. Drop a comment below at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Let's talk about this. Let's have a conversation about, have you been N6'd by PSA? If you have, what have you done? I'll tell you this. What I do is I send them right back to PSA, and I'll tell you this. Every single time I've sent it right back to PSA, they have graded it, they have slabbed it, sent it back to me, and sometimes they're Gem Mint 10s. So I ask you, PSA, what are you doing? What are you doing here? I'm gonna share a quick story here because a lot of people also ask me, do I think or have I seen grading companies, in particular PSA, track serial numbered cards? And the reason why people ask that question is because they want to know, if I get a grade that I didn't want, if I think the card was undergraded at PSA, can I crack, and it's serial numbered, can I crack it out and resubmit it to them? Or if I get it from another grading company, can I crack it out of another grading company's slab and submit it to PSA? Namely SGC, because PSA owns SGC. So you would think that PSA would track serial numbered cards in PSA slabs in their registry. And you would think that they would also be able to tap in to serial numbered cards that SGC has graded. And then if they come into a PSA submission, PSA would have the ability to say, this is this exact same card because we can identify the serial number and it was graded by a company that we own, SGC, right? Well, the following story may or may not blow your mind. It kind of blows my mind. It's my story. It's firsthand, right? So I bought a Shadur Sanders yellow refractor auto out of 75, SGC 1010, Bowman Chrome first. In the last year, probably bought it in December 2023. So 9 months ago, right? And I cracked it recently. It was an SGC 1010. I cracked it recently, like two or 3 months ago. And I sent the now raw card into PSA. And it got an N6 designation. So at first I'm like, how does an SGC 1010 of an ultramodern card get a PSA N6 designation? Does not meet minimum size requirements. Okay. Now I'm thinking, obviously there's no tracking between serial numbered cards from SGC over to PSA. And obviously there's no, the grading standards are not the same because one company's giving it a Gem Mint 10, the other company's giving it an N6 does not meet minimum size requirement. Okay. Now I take that same card with the N6 designation. As soon as it gets shipped back to me from PSA, I ship it right back to PSA in another submission. Guess what happens? Serial numbered card gets a gem mint 10. So now I'm thinking, not only is there no communication from SGC over to PSA on serial numbered cards, there's no communication within PSA, not only on serial numbered cards, but on same submitter back-to-back submission N6 to PSA 10. I mean, it's crazy. So have you been N6'd by PSA? That is the question of the day. It is a post on our Instagram account at Sports Card Strategy. Please follow Sports Card Strategy on Instagram and comment on the Have You Been N6'd by PSA post. And please, please, please share that post. We would love it if more and more people can get involved in our content. Thank you so much. We say hello to Eric Stefano, Dakota Deck Draws, Hardcore X Cards, Oh My Shoes in the live chat. Good to see all of you. Cards Max, Adrian Charlie, Vintage Card Buyer, Johnny Utah Sports Cards, Dustin Wayne 1989, Vintage Sports Cards Hobby, Sports Cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Bridge City Sports Cards, Sports Cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What up? David T in the live chat. What's going on, everybody? Good to have all of you. Super pumped to be here today. Thank you for all of you listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show. Time to get into our meat and potatoes of today's show, which is giving you all the top 5 sports card opportunities to buy raw and grade, courtesy of the formula-based sports card rankings at nooffseason.com. What's that? Let me say it again. The formula sports card rankings at nooffseason.com. It's a recommendations engine. So it's not like Market Movers. It's not like Card Ladder. It's not like Card Hedge. It's not like 130 Point. It's not like Alt. You don't just look at data that has happened. What you're looking at is a recommendations engine based on the data that has happened. And what we do at nooffseason.com is we run hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards through our formula for raw to grade and for already graded. And for raw to grade, we give you 5 of them every Monday for free right here on the Sports Card Strategy Show, that based on our formula for raw to grade, which takes into account target cost, gem rate, PSA 10 upside, average sale price across all other grades that you're likely to get other than a PSA 10, takes into account all of your costs on marketplace fees, shipping, and everything like that. And then it gives you an ROI percentage that you're likely to get when you get the card back from PSA and sell it immediately. And if you want to hold it longer than that for a selling marker, be my guest, because you can profit even more. So I give away 5 of these for free every Monday on the Sports Card Strategy Show. They're not necessarily literally the top 5 in the rankings, but I call them the top 5 sports card opportunities to buy raw and grade. So let's get into it. The first 3 are basketball cards. And I think part of the reason why is because we can grade basketball cards now and get them back before the start of the season. And the first selling marker is at the beginning of the basketball season, which is at the end of October. So there's a lot of hype going around. Naturally, cards rise a little bit. And then for players who perform really well in that first week of the NBA season, you've got a situation where their cards can go to the moon. So some guys that have been on our formula-based sports card rankings for a long time that I wanted to call out on today's show because there's time to get them graded and get them back. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. His 2018 Prism Silver 184 Raw goes for about $107. Now, the tricky part's going to be finding a 2018 card in a potentially gemmable condition, right? That's going to be the tricky part. But if you can do it, there's a 37% ROI on that card. And the more that you can buy for that average target cost of $107, the more likely you are to profit that ROI of 37%. Reason being is because let's just say you buy one. Well, now you're in a situation where it's binary at that point. You're either getting a PSA 10 or you're not. And if you're not getting a PSA 10 on that one card, chances are you're going to lose a little bit if you get a 9. If you get an 8, 7, or below, you're screwed. So with all of these recommendations, it's better to try to buy multiple of them to give yourself more at-bats and a better batting average. Scoot Henderson's 2023 Prism 141 Silver is probably a card you're going to have a little bit more luck with getting graded than SGA. Why? Because it's a 2023 card. It basically just hit the market. Now, Scoot is not as desirable of a player as SGA, but in these raw to grade rankings, it really doesn't matter because it's all about just the math of what you buy the card for, what the PSA 10 goes for, and what your likelihood is of a PSA 10. So if you can buy Scoot's 2023 Prism 141 Silver for $22, you're in a situation where you have some upside in a PSA 10. You have a higher gem rate, a much higher gem rate than SGA's card, by the way. So 40% ROI just buying Scoot. And I like that too because a lot of us might not have $107 to spend on a raw card, but most of us have $22 to spend on a raw card. Now, bulk grading can lower your fee as well, but you don't have to buy 20 right now NBA cards. You can just buy 10. PSA has a grading special, and I have a grading special that I'm going to talk about. So if you just want to get 1 card graded or 5 cards graded or 9 cards graded, and you don't want to go up to the 10 NBA cards, you can grade through me, and I'll talk about that in a second. The third opportunity here is Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is kind of a name that we've all forgotten about. But the reality is Scotty Barnes is a player that has a just as high of a likelihood of popping off and performing and winning some accolades, being an NBA All-Star, being an All-NBA second teamer, first teamer, maybe first team all defense, getting a bunch of triple doubles, improving his offensive game, leading the Raptors as their number 1 player into the playoffs, maybe deep. You just never know. So Scotty Barnes, his 2021 Prism Silver 320 is only $16.50 raw right now. And if you can find gradable copies, multiple gradable copies, and submit them, you're in a situation where there's a 50% ROI. Now, this card has a very, very low gem rate historically. 2021 Prism did not do as well as 2022 or 2023 did from a gem rate standpoint. So finding this card raw for $16.50 might yield you a pretty low-end quality copy of this. But if you can find a potentially gemmable Scotty Barnes card, you don't even need Scotty Barnes to do anything. Because if you can get a PSA 10 on this card, you're going to immediately make way more than a 50% ROI. But if you get multiple copies, what the formula does is it averages out all of your likely grades anyway for you. So the 50% ROI is well within reach for the Scotty Barnes card. The key thing is to get it at the target cost of under $17. All right. The last 2 cards are a little bit different because they just came out, right? Like the previous 3 cards I just talked about have been on the market for quite a bit. Even Scoot's card has been on the market significantly longer than the next 2 that I'm about to talk about. So the next 2, you'd have to move very, very quickly on. All right. The first one, this is the number 4 overall opportunity, is Hendon Hooker's 2023 Optic Hollow 234. This card's going for $6 raw. And based on all the grades that you're likely to get across this card, if you can snipe it for $6 raw and grade it quickly at PSA and get it back and sell it, there's a likely 71% ROI on Hendon Hooker's card here. So the tricky part about Optic, though, is that it's probably going to be usurped by Hendon Hooker's Contenders Rookie Ticket Auto. It's probably going to be usurped by future Hendon Hooker releases, maybe National Treasures, Flawless, things like that. But the Optic Hollow is a cheap entry-level card at $6 plus your grading fee. If you can be quick, move quick on it, gather up, say, 10 to 20 of these fuckers real fast, get them to PSA. There's a 71% ROI on this. And so that's without a backup quarterback really having to do anything. That's even if he's concussed. That's even if he doesn't play. It's even if Jared Goff doesn't get injured, all this stuff. Now you got to move fast though, because chances are the PSA 10 upside on this card will go down throughout the season unless the ball bounces Hendon Hooker's way. And our last card in the top 5 is a similar situation, although the player will probably have more longevity than Hendon Hooker, and that's Elly De La Cruz. Elly De La Cruz's 2024 Topps Chrome number 44 base raw just came out in Topps Chrome 2024. The card is going for around $6. If you can snipe it for $6 as your target cost, sell it right after you get it graded, there's a good chance that you're going to get an 83% ROI on this play. Again, you got to move very, very fast on this because Elly De La Cruz is hot right now. It's the baseball season. This is a new release, so people want it. And all of those factors are going to go away pretty soon. Now, if you look historically at like Shohei Ohtani's base Topps Chrome PSA 10, Aaron Judge's base Topps Chrome PSA 10, they still do well. So there's still a chance that if you get PSA 10s on this Elly De La Cruz card, you could have more of a runway for profit on it. But I still think it's a very, very quick flip play. Worst case scenario, what you're doing is you're selling it at the beginning of next baseball season in March 2025. But I don't want you to have to wait that long. I want you to be able to get these back, sell them, make money. And you're not going to get a PSA 10 on all of them. But if you're able to get multiple copies with an average cost of the target cost being around $6, you should profit 83%. All right. We're going to bring in our guy, Maddox Yost, m.pokeworld on IG in a second, because he's helped us put together our amazing new high ceiling, high floor repack product. But before we bring in Maddox, I just want to remind all of you, we have new services, benefits for paid members at nooffseason.com free of charge. So if you are a paid member with an active subscription, we are doing card analysis and grading submission services. How it works is we will intake, review, and prep your cards for grading. You will get discounts on grading submissions because we can help you bypass minimums and in some case, shipping fees and max declared value limits. We also will consign your cards for you if you want. That's optional with various top sellers on multiple marketplaces. You can submit an unlimited amount of cards for our review, grading, and consignment. It's only $25 per card. Yes, we will crack slabs as part of this fee. That's all you pay. And if you want us to kind of use this as like a full service vault and just consign your already graded cards, you can do that as well. Just go to the top of your member dashboard and you will see the steps on how to submit this to us. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at paul@nooffseason.com. All right. So now let's bring in our guy, Maddox Yost. Maddox, check 1, 2. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great, man. How's it going?
Good to hear from you.
Live on the Sports Card Strategy Show, my guy. Many of you know who he is. He's been in the hobby for a while. And I would say he's probably one of the best people at attending card shows, building relationships, making flips, great hobbyist. And so, Maddox, you and I, we talked about wanting to do a repack project together. And we wanted to do something that anybody who bought into it would get value. And of course, anytime you put together a repack product, you need to have chasers. You need to have hits. You need to give people an idea of what they can win, right? Because there's that gambling aspect of it. But as you know, and as our entire audience knows on the Sports Card Strategy Show, we don't really love ripping wax. We don't really love recommending people buy into breaks and things like that. So repacks can be a little bit of a risk. We wanted to build high ceiling, high floor. So let's talk real quick about your thoughts when putting this product together. Just kind of walk us through, because you and I are partnering on this. You did all of the number crunching, all of the prospecting on going out and getting and acquiring the acquisition of the cards. You're basically the head of acquisition here with this product. So walk us through your thought process as we put this together.
Absolutely. I think it was a big thing for us to make sure that we had, that high floor, but also had, those cards that, really can make people the money, like while we're still having fun with the sports cards and everything like that. With the packs only being $175 for this first one, I don't know if the second one's going to be like that, or if we're going to make it bigger, or if we're going to do it a little bit more quantity. Right now we only have 30, so get them while you can. But we definitely just wanted it to be a good product where someone could actually, have fun with it. And, not everyone hits, right? Not everyone hits in a repack or a break or whatever it is. Not everyone hits. But in this pack, the most you're going to lose, like it's so minuscule to know that you can only lose so much money, and that there's a good chance for you to, actually get that money back. So I think it's a super good product, and it's a product that people have a good chance of like doing good on. So I think that was our biggest thing about it, was just making sure that everyone would have a good time with it, and making sure that we put in cards that were actually like good quality cards that people may have better potential for holding, or may have a better potential in the future price wise. So that was very important for when we were building these as well.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point about like people want to have fun, and I think a lot of like all of our content is just based around buying singles. Whether it's raw to grade or whether it's already graded with a selling marker in mind. And so a lot of people in the hobby want the thrill of opening up a product with the chance of winning something that's far more valuable than the price that they paid for the product. And that's a big part of the hobby, whether it's like silver packs at the National, whether it's buying blaster boxes at retail, whether it's ripping hobby boxes, buying into breaks. Like, I've been slightly accused or criticized of like not being fun because I'm not participating in any of that stuff. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit more fun, to your point, but also to your other point, not really risky. And so one of the things that I love that you did with this checklist is you made the floor cards that our audience and our members of nooffseason.com would probably go buy as singles, because they're probably about to start going up. So you actually, for the floor cards, you didn't just say, hey, like, we're going to charge $175 for this repack product, and we're going to have 10 hits, but then the other 20 cards are just going to be random $60 cards that aren't going to go anywhere. You picked cards that happen to be a value of, say, 60 to 75, maybe even upwards of $80 current market value, but they're all like top tier quarterback PSA 10s that should go up maybe another 20 to even $50 more in the next couple of months. So really what you did was you put everybody in a position where, yeah, they might spend $175 and only get a $75 card right now, probably worst case scenario, but it could be a $125 card in a couple months. So, great job on that. Like you said, there's only 9 left. And we started with 30. So big shout out to all of you in the fam who have come and helped us sell out of this repack. I think they'll be sold out like immediately after this episode drops on Apple and Spotify. So everybody needs to go. Everyone in the live chat right now should go buy them up, because you guys are getting this information first. But Maddox, let's talk about how we're going to reveal this, right? Because part of doing a repack product, and this is my first that I've ever done, but my understanding in researching this with you and with others is that an important part is like being fully transparent, not only about the checklist, which we've been at nooffseason.com, but also about like randomizing the reveal, and then opening the packs in a way where it's like fully transparent in a live reveal kind of a setting, and then kind of giving people the option, hey, we can mail you this card right away, or maybe we can consign it for you or something like that. So you and we're cooking up a little something later this week. Talk about it.
So we're definitely going to be cooking it up. But I think with all the packs and everything, what we really wanted to do is make sure that it was kind of something that was alive and something that, people would have fun with, and, like get that, that like, oh, like, am I going to get that big chaser card? Like I always love like, even when I do breaks or something like that, I love when I'm just like, oh, will I get the card? I think it's just one of the fun parts about this side of cards. And I just think that the way that we're going to do it is going to be super cool. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and do it at Fanatics Fest. Was the idea that we were going to do it at Fanatics Fest. We were going to do it live on either, what were we going to do it on?
Yeah, we're probably going to go live on youtube.com/Paul Hickey and on Instagram, Sports Card Strategy, and on X, No Offseason Cards. So we'll just go live simultaneously everywhere that we're normally live on, and we'll do the reveal from Fanatics Fest so people can get a little, not only the excitement of us randomizing the packs, opening the packs, giving the shout out to, who's won what, but also people will be able to maybe get to see a little bit of what's going on at Fanatics Fest, since you and I are going to be there together.
Right. I think people definitely will be excited to like see that in person, like while these are being opened. And if you're going to be there, we'll probably drop where we're going to do it. And, if you can come around. And if you have a pack, maybe we can even get it to you right away, expedited shipping. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a super fun thing that we're coming up with. And I think that we're going to have many more rounds of it. So I hope you guys are ready for it, because we're coming in hot.
Maddox, you're the man. Great job on this. Like you said, there's going to be more after this one. We're taking it one step at a time. We want to do this first one right. We want to make sure everybody feels good about it. We want to take our learnings. Like, it's just like a regular sports card strategy. Like, we're going to try it, see what worked well about it, what didn't work well, and then we're going to keep doing what works best and fade what doesn't work. So stay tuned for more nooffseason.com repacks with M.PokeWorld. Maddox Yost, he's the man. And Maddox, before I let you go, I mean, my call to action worked. Like, I just checked my email real quick while you were talking, and people are buying the last pack. So everybody needs to go get them now, baby.
Buy them up, get them out of here. We're going to have a next one coming up soon. So thank you for having me on, Paul. We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon, man. And next time you're on, we'll talk a little bit more about your card show strategy, your favorite card shows, your favorite people in the hobby, things like that. So we'll get you on again soon, man. And
Absolutely.
I'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. See you guys soon.
All right. You got it. Maddox Yost, M.PokeWorld on Instagram, my business partner here at nooffseason.com with the repacks. Everybody go to nooffseason.com/repack to get them. And thank you to everybody who's already supported us so much, being a premium member, being, a card grading and submission submitter, a loyal podcast listener. Many of you have already bought like multiple of these just to support the cause. So shout out, you know who you are. All right, let's take a few live chat questions at youtube.com/Paul Hickey before we hit you with the outro. Hardcore X Cards says, do you like my pickup of a 2023 Panini certified Hendon Hooker auto RC 4-color patch teal serial number to 1 out of 49 freshman fabric for $65? I think so. I mean, I think you can make money on that. I think it's probably a card that, if you left a footprint on eBay, then it's going to be a little bit hard to move without a performance spike for Hooker. Unless you bought it a long time ago. If you bought it a long time ago, maybe it's already moved up in value. In that case, you're the man, and maybe you should list it now for $150. Buy it now. But let us know what happens. I like the card. I like the player. It's not like that wouldn't be my favorite recommended Hooker card, but for the price, I think you can make some money on it. All right, so we've got Eric Stefano, one of our loyal audience members. Eric says, I've had an issue with the Brady rookie that got kicked back to me from PSA. Yeah, talking about the N6. That sucks. Brian Steeler 714. What's up, all my cardboard brothers, sisters, and duders? Hope all is well. The best sports card says Banchero ? Yeah, I mean, Banchero is my guy. Banchero is my guy. Like, there's Banchero cards in the formula, by the way. I didn't talk about him in this episode, but Paolo Banchero's 2022 Prism Silver 249 is still in the top 10 formula-based rankings, 64% ROI. So the best sports cards is right on the money when he says Banchero. Like I said, Shea, Scoot, Barnes, right? And the reason I did that is because I've been talking about Banchero a lot. But let's just go ahead and talk about Banchero some more. Paolo Banchero, 2022 Prism Silver 249, one of the formula's favorite cards at nooffseason.com. So if you can go find potentially gemmable raw copies of that card for $92 or less, you're going to make 64% ROI in your PSA grading submissions. Dakota Deck Draws says, I'm a subscriber and I have an idea for the table. So thanks, Dakota Deck. Appreciate your support. Love having premium subscribers chime in on the show. Says, I have an idea for the table. So what he means, he's referring to the formula-based sports card rankings at nooffseason.com are displayed in a table that has a lot of information in it. I think we all think it's pretty easy to navigate, but I think Dakota Deck Draws has a good point here. He says, when to purchase. So yes, this is true. When to purchase. If you click on any of the cards that are in the far left column on the table, the player profile page will tell you when to purchase. So there's so much information from a user experience standpoint that I thought was a little bit more of a priority to put in the table. But I do think you make a good point, and I've tried to include it on the player profile page. Really appreciate your support. DDD, Dakota Deck Draws. Boudini's Cards and Comics. What's up? Boudini's Cards and Comics is a loyal subscriber, loyal audience member. I just filled out your website for a 1-card submission. I'm planning to ship it to you as soon as it arrives here after eBay's authenticity guarantee. Love it. The other thing you can do, by the way, for premium members is, and this has to do with Boudini's comment here, is you can just use my shipping address that's shown in the form as your shipping address on your marketplace. That way you don't even have to you don't even have to pay extra shipping fees to me. If it's a card that you just know you want to grade based on the eBay photos or the MySlabs photos or the Fanatics Collect whatnot photo, whatever, you can use my address that's shown to you in the grading submission form as the recipient address. And then that saves you money. So you can definitely do that. John K85 is in the house. Arturo Torres says, is Josh Downs worth investing in? I picked up an Obsidian purple numbered to 99 for $1. Looks terrific to grade. Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, Arturo, and I think the level of detail that you gave is helpful there in your question. I think a player like Josh Downs, for example, I put him in the same category as like Amir Smith-Marset or KJ Osborne, or I mean, he's like a third, maybe fourth wide receiver on his team, but he's young. He could still make an impact. He's in a situation, like situationally, he could have a spike week that could drive his prices up. So I think you're looking at a situational spike week player for an upside, but the fact that you got this for $1 in a dollar box, I assume your dollar box diving skills are stellar. And I know our guy Mosaic Joe would applaud this. I know he would, because he's looking for these. And if it looks terrific to grade it. Absolutely grade it. Sergeant Slab says, should we be listing Hooker and Fields during preseason as bin, OBO, or auctioning? A great question. I think Slabs, you list Sarge, list them as bin OBO. List them as bin OBO. I listed my hookers. That sounds really weird. I listed my hookers as bin OBOs. But what you got to do is do the calculation, make sure that you're not accepting offers where you're actually going to lose money based on the eBay fees. That is a real risk. Card Snatcher in the house. What's up, Card Snatcher? Good to see. Like, we got Card Snatcher, Shoes, and Steeler 714 all in the same live chat. Love it. I mean, these are OGs for those of you who are new to the show. And thanks to those of you who are new to the show for joining. Awesome Card Shop Christian, Flipper Kings, Bridge City Sports Cards, The Michael J, Barry Siff, Bridge City Cards, M-Dub Cards, Rodman Cards, Ho Furt Tryon, Sports Treasures, AJ Sports Cards, Jeffrey Cards 6, For the Love of the Hobby, Line Shot Cards, what's up? It's Molly the Doodle, Hunting Herberts, KJ Ricker, The J-Mac 97, Chaz Rips, Reaper Trading Cards, The Old Miguel says, hey, Paul, just sent you a package for cards with PSA submission. What do you expect the turnaround time will be from PSA? Miguel, I will keep you updated on that, my friend. You will get updates from me, directly from me, because I give you the best customer service. Scout Cards, Cades Cards, Run 40, Tanner Hughes, Virtual Demon 46. Thanks, everybody, for joining. That's in the live chat. I know most of you are listening on Apple and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Holler at me on Instagram. DM me at Sports Card Strategy. Let me know how I'm doing. Everybody, thanks so much. Have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at No Off Season Card. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.